Tammy last night, Compton. She be doing a lot of that.
Oh yeah. We had Tammy in here about the
Mental
mental,
yeah. We went to school together.
Okay, she went to Jack State,
Jack State,
okay.
yeah, she cool chick, man.
My wife don't know, I guess from somewhere or another. Tammy was a good interview. I enjoyed that interview with Tammy, man. I still see her online working.
She doing good, man.
Yeah, it's about that time. It's about that time.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
Corey done broke out looking serious. Now he was just sitting over there sliding and all that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Sam back there coming their hair to the back.
Hey, you know it, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You official old ass nigga when you comb your hair to the back.
You got thing like Jerry Buff, man.
But you gotta move your hand while you comb to the back, though. It ain't gonna be right.
Like your boy Jerry Buff, baby.
Yeah,
Comb it
right.
all to the back and comb it over.
That's it.
That's right. Barbershop Stories, the podcast, episode 93. Come on in. And while you there, for the few folks that are watching, make sure you like, watch, and share this post. We don't mind now. You know we got Corey in there, man. We got Corey in here, man. You gotta go ahead and share, man.
In here, baby. We in here.
Yeah, we got K1 on the 1 and 2. And I'm talking about the camera and the laptop, 1 and 2. Yeah, he DJing tonight. But he on the 1 and 2. What's up, Lakeisha Spearman? Go ahead and spread this post. Share it. Go ahead. One man.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Go ahead. Come on in, man. It's a great one today. We from Birmingham. They say there ain't nothing going on in Birmingham, but we got an author right here. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even seen him run up and down First Avenue. Man, do it all, man.
No doubt.
So without
on the
further
second
ado,
go around with it, man.
Yeah,
that's right.
man.
Without further ado, like Sam said, this is the second go round.
I won't say he's our first.
You wanted to
Second
do-
time. First, second time, people, man, guess
Y'all
on.
still rocking,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
I'm proud of y'all still rocking, you know.
That's right.
Yeah.
Doing
man.
it. Keep doing
That's
it.
right, man.
We need it.
Let them know what Birmingham all about, and the state of Alabama, and the South abroad.
Most
That's
definitely.
right.
Get it right. Go ahead and like, watch, and share this post. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the TV on, Corey, and see yourself behind. You gotta put that HD on. Everybody ain't
7
got
inches.
HD.
65, 7 inches worth
Yeah.
of.
That's right. Let me see.
Big time. Movie screen.
That's right.
Now I gotta be patient. I lost my 5-stick remote, but we found a way to make it work. So come on in. All right, there we go.
How the book signed with, man. I seen that book signed.
Yeah, man, went pretty good, man.
Alright.
Had a good time, had a little fun, played a few little games, you know.
There it is.
Okay.
All right, and I am one of the hosts, comedic narrator,
All
Haircut
the time.
Slang Benny Mac.
Yeah, man.
We got Sammy No Nose over there in that regular ass Phoenix shirt over
Yes,
there to the right.
We keep that info for you.
Oh yeah, he gonna hold
Sons
that shirt,
and four. Y'all already know Luca dead.
Yeah,
He
four
had
what?
50 and still lost. Y'all know
what?
what time it is.
Oh what?
Sons and
sir.
four, baby.
For what?
CP3, you rolling with
Yeah.
CP3.
That's right. Hey, we appreciate y'all tuning in. So, like I said, welcome to another episode of Barbershop Stories, the podcast, or should I say the talk show, or should I say just an informative network with two niggas talking to different folk from inside the city and abroad.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, Corey?
What's up, baby? What's
happening?
going on, man?
Oh, man,
Good to see
chilling,
y'all,
chilling,
man.
chilling.
Good to
Yeah,
see
man.
everybody.
Yeah,
Back
yeah.
in here from the second go round.
That's
Oh, yeah,
right.
oh,
That's
yeah.
right, man.
That's what's up.
Yeah, okay.
We'll be doing something right, man. Hey.
That's right. So remember the first visit. Remember what you did on the first visit. So what brings you back to the second visit, other than us calling you? What you got going on?
Well,
bro?
I'm back out now with my second book, my follow-up book from my first one, man, called Foster Dad. Story about my time and my family fostering kids here in Birmingham. So we ran it for about 8 years. So I was kind of, giving everybody a little insight on what was going on during that time.
So foster dads. What's the difference between foster dad and stepdad?
8 years as a foster. This
Yeah.
8 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Foster dad and stepdad.
Stepdad.
Now, it just ain't the same as stepdad is. Cause
Nah.
children don't respect them stepdad.
Nah, a little
unless he
bit,
buying
little
them Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Yeah, it's a little bit different.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess for the people that don't know, explain what exactly is a foster dad. Because a lot of people don't know the difference between foster dad, stepdad, play dad, and everything else.
Well, it's actually it was my family's actually time fostering kids, but I wrote it and I titled it Foster Dad because I wrote it from like a male's perspective, from a father's perspective, how I view things as a dad in the house. You see things different from a dad. I can't write as a mom. I'm not a lady, so I had to write it from a male's perspective. And I saw a lot of the difference that was made having a male figure in the home. You know, women be sometimes they'll say, sit down, sit down, sit down, and kids keep running, and you say sit down, and they do it. So, you know, so I just wanted to share this story, you know, from my perspective, how I saw it while we was fostering those kids, man.
Oh, okay. Well, man, I tell you, you are a real live anomaly because a lot of people are not interested in watching nobody else cheer.
Right.
That's just for real. You know, you don't want to make it sound no different than what it is. Like, and it takes a lot for a man or a woman to decide to say, hey, man, I'm just going to go ahead and take that task on because it's a real live
Yeah. And that was one of the reasons why I did write it too, to kind of put a positive light on fostering, because I was the same way. You know, I didn't want to do it either. I had that negative mindset, kind of like, you know, fostering kids. I was like, man, I don't really know what them kids gonna bring in the house. So my mindset. So I'm trying to change other people's mindset from thinking the way I was thinking. You know what I'm saying?
Because the worst out come to most people's mind. They thinking about the cons, not the pros.
Because these kids, man, anybody that's in the system, they're in the system for no reason of their own. You know what I'm saying? Some happen with the parents, or some happen with family members or whatever that put them in that situation. So they didn't ask to be in that situation. And another reason that every time, it was always more kids than homes available all the time. All the time. The whole 8 years, there was always more kids than homes. So just trying to encourage more people to kind of get into that, or just kind of help more people out, period, whether it's mentoring or just helping a kid out. You know, I know everybody ain't fit to foster or whatever, but, you know, we all can do something. You know, we ain't all got to be foster parents, but we all can do something to help a kid out, you know.
Well, one thing about it, though, the children are the future. So, you know, whether people want to disregard it now or catch it later, you definitely got to deal with it. It ain't nothing that can be ignored, because at some point we all got to deal with the consequences for either doing good or doing bad by it.
We got kids now at our age, so who you think gonna be dealing with our kids? Kids that we're trying to raise.
Who gonna be taking care of us at a certain age? You know, so you gotta like they said, you gotta put something in and get something out. You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely, man.
Yeah, ain't got to sow a seed right here.
Right. You said how long you been in the fostering?
Well, we did it for like 8 years.
8 years.
8 years, yeah.
So let me ask you this. All right, so when you started in it, I know you said you was kind of reluctant to doing it because it seemed like a huge task.
Yeah.
So when you got in it, what were some of the best moments and memorable moments that you had with dealing with foster children?
Man, I had a bunch of them actually. You know, it was totally opposite of what I was thinking going into it. Like, those kids bring energy to you. And they show you what unconditional love is like. Like, kids just want somebody to take care of them. They don't care who it is. You know, they once you treat them right, they gonna treat you like you're their real parent. You know what I'm saying? So I saw that a lot. And I think one of the most proudest things I saw when I had a kid one time who was kind of struggling with behavior, you know, end up becoming like a nice little kid and having manners and all that kind of stuff. Or kids that were kind of lacking in school, but, you know, with the time and the effort and teaching and helping, then they kind of got better in their schoolwork. So that's the kind of the things that kind of make you be like, you know, I'm glad I did it, you know.
I hear you on that, man.
Yeah.
It seemed like if you're adopted, it seemed like even you look at the kids, like you say, all the cons and all the negative things, but I think the person that adopted temperament had to be right too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Talking about taking on kids, and now you the one that had to coach this kid out of this dark place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Adoption is even a bigger step because now they're permanent. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've always looked at fostering kind of
okay.
So,
Fostering adoption.
Yeah, I didn't say. So what's the difference? Because I thought it was the same thing.
Well, fostering is actually temporary. Like, they don't stay with you permanently forever. When you adopt a kid, they're your kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're yours and they live with you permanently.
So do you have to go to the same process with adoption and fostering, except one just permanent and one's not?
Right. You have to do the classes and they do the background checks on you. Fostering, when you're in the foster care system, they're always trying to find a resolution to bring the kid back home or bring the kid back to a family member or something like that. So it's never really a permanent situation, unless it may be, you know, small situations where kids just stay in the system so long that they try to look for adopted families.
So basically, fostering be like parents that might have got caught on, you know, different cases or around smoking dope and shit like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I ain't saying to be funny, but it's real.
It's a variety of stuff, man. We had all kind of different things, and they really don't kind of get into what happened. You know, they just kind of tell you we got a 8-year-old boy and he fostered. You know what I'm saying? So you really don't know a lot of the information going into it. You know.
So that's that situation until, like I say, either a family member comes back and assumes parental rights
Yeah.
or somebody adopts.
Right, or
Yeah,
somebody
okay.
adopt or a family member come get them a parent. And they have to check out through the courts too. So whoever it is can't just be anybody. It got to be somebody who the court say they can go stay with them.
Is it a time limit like that you foster that they say okay they've been in here long enough?
Well,
Now it's
not
time to
really.
find-
They always try to get a kid back as soon as they can to a family member. But I have had kids in our home that was there over 2 years. You know, they didn't have anybody to kind of step up and take them, so we just kept them. And, you know, and people used to ask me all the time, how do you not get attached to kids that's living with you that long? And, you know, you do get attached to them. You know?
Exactly.
But I always kind of looked at it from a mindset of, you know, this is like a temporary rehab situation where you bringing somebody in. Hopefully, what you teach them and what you put into them make them better by the time they go back. You know, so
Right.
that's how I always kind of looked at it.
And maybe the relationship continues if
Yeah, 'cause like, it's
if it was a good enough
Yeah,
situation.
there's some kids that you know, I still keep in contact with. Like
Okay.
one of my former kids, you know, he's like my little godson, man, and I come get him. He stay with me on the weekends and stuff sometimes too. So
That's cool,
you
man.
know,
That's
build
what's
those
up.
relationships and stuff like that kind of make you like, you know, it was all worth it. And I didn't want to do it. It took me probably a year or two to just say okay.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? My wife asked me that, I was like, no, I ain't doing that. No, I ain't trying to do no fostering, you know what I'm saying? But I was just thinking, you know, all those negative things, you know, that's always in my head. But you got to have it in your heart to do it, though. Like, you can't force people to do that kind of
I
stuff.
hear you.
It's true.
You got to have that in your heart, and that's what you want to do. And so that's what it's all about, man.
So Cora, so how many children over the 8 years? Said 8 years, correct?
Yeah.
That been with you, and when they got ready to go back, they were like, "Cool, I want to stay with you, Cool. I want to stay with you,
yeah.
Mr. McKinney."
It
How
was
many of them that actually said,
Yeah.
"Hey, man, I don't want to go back
Yeah, it was
to where I was."
most of them want to go back home. Most of them do, but some of them, you know, kind of be reluctant to leave. Some of them get attached to you too,
Yeah.
you know. And I've had kids come back on the weekends and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's been kids that didn't want to go back or whatever. But most of the kids, you know, they remember home unless they was in a really really bad situation.
Yeah.
You know.
See, I know because they would have came to East Lake back in the early 2000s. They would have like, "Ben, drop me out, cuz." Like, "No, boy,
Yeah.
drop me out, cuz."
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what's up, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. I have a real special place for folks that actually would be willing to watch other folks' children, man.
Yeah.
That's a real job. Cause I know in our line of work, being professional barbers, you know,
Yeah.
we done watched a lot of them go from young to old, and you know, of course, we didn't foster them,
Yeah.
but we have had some folks who had a 7 o'clock appointment, came back, picked up their children later on their leave. So I don't know if that's
Hey,
applicable
that
or not.
count a
We
little
done-
bit.
we done had some.
We'll put you in the respite category. They have a thing called respite where you be a foster parent, but you don't do it full time. Like you may get them on the weekends. or
Okay.
You
Oh.
get somebody a break. Like if I'm fostering and I'm going out of town,
Yeah.
they may come stay with you for 2 days. Like
What's the
it-
word?
It's called a respite.
Okay,
Respite,
so I'm a
okay.
respite.
Yeah, you're a
Okay.
respite.
I'm
You
a
had,
respite.
you had it for about more than 8 hours. That you
We've
fit.
been doing that over 20 years now.
Yeah.
Y'all official respite.
Yeah.
Automatic.
Some of them
We
mamas come
enjoy
up,
it though,
dude.
man.
We trying to go and get them some in the middle of the day. How many you got? Oh, don't even worry about it. Just leave 'em.
Yeah.
Charge for the haircut and spend all that shit back feeding ass.
Y'all official now, man. You official. I know y'all done had them at the barbershop. I know how they go.
Respite.
Man,
They
look
drop
at
them off and come back later on that evening.
Oh yeah.
Into the mall and everything.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt.
When they don't even ask you how many you got, they just drop them off and leave. Then they be shouting.
He is and push him through the door.
Oh, yeah.
man. I already know, cuz.
Yeah, that's what time it is, man. Barbershop Stories, episode 93. The author, Cora McKinney, in the house.
Oh,
Coach
yeah.
Daryl's coach, foster dad, man.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what's the gist of the book, man? I was reading your summary on the back there, man.
Yeah.
It got a little bit of everything, you know.
Yes.
You speak out against peer pressure and bullying and
Yeah.
different things about the kids, man. That
Yeah.
they may you know, different stuff they may meet along the road of childhood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've been doing that speaking for a couple of years now.
Okay.
On gun violence, peer pressure, and bullying, trying to, steer kids in the right direction.
That's right, man.
And but the story is pretty much like I kind of took from the beginning that we the first kids that came in, and kind of in an order sequential when the kids came in, and what went on with each one, and how everything kind of went as they stayed there, and they went back to their homes, or went back to their whatever, how it ended. So I just took that and just kind of put it into a form and put it into a
Okay.
book, So each chapter got different kids that came in, and I just kind of tell how they, what happened and how they left back out. So it's just one of those inspirational stories to try to. Hopefully, when people read it, they'll want to do something to help other kids out.
Something positive about fostering, because like you said, you hear the nightmares. You hear all that, but about you wouldn't want them and all that stuff.
And most of the time, man, and you have issues, I like to sit here and say that, it was just all fun and games.
With your own.
Yeah, you got your own kids, and a lot of kids got issues they come in with from their past or whatever. So, and most of it was just structure though. Like a lot of kids, came in with no discipline and wasn't used to structure. Going to bed at a certain time or eating a certain time or doing what we normally do. But the more they kind of stay with you, the more they kind of gravitate to what you do, and actually they actually be better by the time they leave out.
Cool, man.
Okay, well, Corey, one, I know this book gonna be good because you got on sharp ass suit. Then you got a keychain right there. That's one. All right. Two, a lot of people want to know, like, as far as with adoptions or fostering, is there any compensation involved? As far as like, because I know when you get children, they got to be fed, they got to be maintained. Is it some type of incentive with the state, or is it just you just take them all on head on?
Yeah, it is a compensation for each child. I don't even remember what it was. You don't get rich off of it or nothing like that. But
you gotta get rich. How much about $800? I'm just message, man.
But you do get a compensation for it. You know what I'm saying? Each month for each child. I think they have a difference too, depending on a certain age or whatever too. So you get like a monthly check in for each kid. But they do need to kind of give you some for food. These kids need, man. These kids, he's like grown ups, doc. Like you would think that they give you some kind of food beneficial, but they don't. They just give you one check for each kid.
Oh yeah, okay.
Tennis shoes and clothes ain't cheap either, Jerry.
I know it, man. We've actually had to go get kids stuff that came in with hole in their shoe and had to go to school the next day. So I ran to Walmart and got some kind. You know how kids are. You go to school with hole in your shoe, they gonna be teased and all that kind of stuff. So
you go to Walmart, they gonna tease them too, Corey.
Probably will, but
I know you say you going to Walmart and get some shoes.
They won't be by no hole.
It was like 9 at night, man, so I ain't had no choice, But I'd rather go with some Shacks on than to go in there with a big hole.
Okay, well I forgot Walmart do got and Shacks and stuff now. Yeah, they got Reebok too now.
They got Reebok.
See, I wish they had that when I was growing up, because they would put your ass some Cougars, XJ900,
anything.
Spalding.
Just an all white shoe, ain't got nothing on it.
Some big old,
Build your calves and self-esteem up, Jack. Walk through school with them boys.
Yeah, make your fist hard or your butt hard, make slam or slap.
Yeah.
One of the two. That's what's up, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's up. So with all right, so let me ask you this too. So is that something you're considering getting back in, or is this book just showing what your experience was with it and you out?
Yeah, we did our time with it. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Yeah, we did our time with it, man. So
look, man.
This is about trying to get other people to help.
Whenever you see somebody in a suit like this, he can't stop, baby. I'm sure needs you, Corey.
So I do more of the mentor side now versus fostering. I still try to go speak to kids and do stuff like that versus the fostering part of it. You know what I'm saying? My kids are older now, and youngest went off in college, so it's a different time now, man. So. But it was a good thing to do. And I just know that, God bless us, man, when we help other people out. So, that stories, if you read it, man, I've had great reviews on it already. People that call me saying they're going to sign up for it. People that text me saying they inspired to do more and stuff like that. So that's what the whole thing is all about,
So, is it easier with the younger children, the middle-aged children, or the older children? Have you experienced all levels, or you just normally dealt with a certain age group?
We did boys. We did mainly boys because I had 2 boys at home. And I wanted to do girls, but with having 2 boys in the house, I ain't want no confusion and he said this and all this kind of stuff. So we mainly did boys. We did 1 girl one time for a little while, but it was all boys. So it was just and we kind of tried to do the age frame to where they can kind of take care of themselves, like school age 5, 6, 7, somewhere in there or whatever. So we didn't really get into the young babies, but maybe a couple of times. And then I didn't really try to do the older kids either, because a lot of times they be sick.
Yeah.
You start getting them in 15, 16, 17. They got
They
their
ready to
own
bust out in the world.
personality, and
gotta
they
be-
kind of listen to you a little less once they get to a certain age like that. So,
Be built up like Mike Tyson then, and ready to punch. Yeah, by that age.
so we tried to stay, kind of in that 6, 7, 8 range, and it was a little bit easy because they could kind of
Yeah,
put their own
mold it.
clothes on, and
Yeah.
you had to do that stuff like for real small kids.
So you actually get to choose to that degree.
Well, you can.
Gender, age.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can ask for it and say, hey, I would rather have this age bracket or the little ones, or because
Okay.
it's harder for people to get the little ones. A lot of people don't do the small
The babies.
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they really be struggling.
You
with
really
that.
got it. You gotta really
Yeah,
love that.
Pampers and diapers and all that stuff, man. That's a lot of work.
Yeah,
what I'm
I
saying?
agree.
So, it's-
So let me ask you this, another thing with the foster care system as well.
Mhm.
Now, this may seem like a crazy question, but just hit me out.
I got you.
Is it a difference in getting melanated children, Caucasian children, or like different race children? Is it a difference in that too, or do they try to place the same color barrier with who they with, or they just whichever?
You know what?
whichever's
I
right.
don't know how they do it from the DHR side or whatever, but I think they probably try to place them,
Yeah.
with race and stuff
They
like
do,
that. But
right.
we've had we've had black, whites, and Latinos in our house.
See, the reason why I ask that because
Cool.
I know a lot of times you see them Caucasian folk, they'll have
Yeah.
melanated children,
Mhm.
and I don't know if that's what they chose or that's
Yeah.
who was available. So
They could have let them know that I got an 8-year-old white young boy. Are you okay with taking him? Because they ask you before they
Okay.
before you take them. Like they'll call you and say, hey, Sam, I got an 8-year-old young girl, such and such. Can you take him? And then you make the choice whether you want to take him in or not. Because everybody got like limits on how many kids you can bring in. You may be at your limit, or you may just not want to be taking nobody right now.
What's the limit?
Just depends on the size of your home or
Okay.
the space that you got in your
Goes
home
off
for
that.
kids. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
So they'll come in, and when they do an inspection of your house, they'll see we can get 2 kids or 3 kids or whatever. Just depends on your space you got.
so just an example, if you got a 4-bedroom house
Mm-hmm.
and you got 2 children, so what is 1 bedroom per 2 children, or how does that
Well,
go?
as long as they got their own bed. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So
okay.
if you can put 2 beds in the room, you can get 2 kids in there. You
Okay.
just can't like put them in the same bed. So
I got you.
if you got room to get their own bed, then you can get
So one can't sleep at the foot.
right. You can't do the crossing
Oh
over.
man,
Now
they
we
tripping.
sleep-
Now. See that took me one twin size, foot to foot, foot to
Yeah,
face.
so you can't do that. So you got your own bed, but I do think they try to match them up best as they can. You know what I'm saying?
Cool,
But
cool.
we've had all different nationalities in our home.
But see that's real interesting, man. Because I didn't realize that adoption and fostering was on a different level like
Yeah.
that. Because
Yeah.
I've also heard people speak on they try to keep the children together too. Like if it's
Yeah.
multiple children,
Yeah.
they don't want to break them up, which I understand. I wouldn't even want to get. There's 3 children, I take 1.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to do that. I want to get all of them.
Yeah.
Keep them together.
Yeah, and we've had that a lot too, where 5 kids got taken, and a lot of homes don't have space for 5, so they had to break them up. You really didn't have a choice but to try to split them up or something like that. So that's happened. It happens sometimes, and just try to keep them together best you can if you got the space for them. You know what I'm saying? So, but it happens sometimes they get split up and separated, man. They have to go to different homes and stuff. So,
Something else
this
though.
point. That's why I was saying it was always more kids than there was homes available
Yeah.
all the time. Like as soon as let's say if we got 3 kids, and 1 kid go back Friday, go back to his home, he's straight. So we got 2. Monday we'll have a phone call.
Oh yeah, I can
You know what I'm
believe it.
saying? Every single time it was always we got 2 kids we need a home for. Can you take them? So that happened a lot, man. So that
Is it
was-
like often, like the call, like just say for a person that may have the space and may not have their limit, is this like often that they'll call,
They'll call, they'll keep calling and check, but they ask to though. Like they ain't gonna just force no kid on you. Like if you don't want to take them in at that time, like we took a little small break in between the 8 years for a couple of weeks. We was just like, let's just kind of take a deep breath, reel it all back in. Just kind of, took a little isolation, mental break from all of it, and then we started back. So you can do that. And they was calling the whole time we was taking that break too. Like, y'all ready yet? We got some kids waiting. So,
Yeah.
it was crazy.
It ain't a foregone conclusion that they need that space. Like you said, there's always more kids in homes to put them in. So
Yeah, man.
These kids have to have somewhere to go, and it's good that they have somewhere to go.
Yeah.
You say you keep foster, right?
Yeah.
How long can you keep them?
It's as long as you want to keep them, unless they find somewhere for them to go back home. So it ain't really a time frame on it. But they do try to get them back to the parent or a family member as soon as possible. Like actually, as soon as you get them, they start working to try to get the kid back into a permanent place. Because that's the whole goal of fostering, is trying to find permanency.
Right.
So they want, whether it's somebody adopting or whether it's back to the parent or whether it's with the aunt or grandmother or somebody. So they working the whole time trying to get them back. But if they can't find nobody, they'll just kind of stay, especially if they're in a good spot. They'll just stay with you until they can find a place for them.
So what are the children? I know this probably, I don't know if this is above your head or your knowledge, but what are the children? I know DHR, whatever, have them, but so what situation are they in before a foster parent actually picks them up? What's the situation they're in?
Actually be downtown at DHR.
Okay, so it's like DHR has like a facility where they have beds and everything now too?
I'm thinking so. I know they actually be downtown at DHR.
Because I know it don't take, not to cut you off, because I know it don't take long. It's like, they say like within 24 hours they try to have them if hadn't anybody claimed them.
Yeah.
They try to have them in a foster situation.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think they have a place downtown at the DHR where they have the kids until somebody come get them.
And don't quote me on that time. I know it's they work quickly though. If nobody's claimed them from that family or whatever, they may be in a foster situation tomorrow.
But there's some deep stories in there, man. I got some funny stuff in there too. Like there's some funny stories in there, and there's some sad stories in there. So it's a mixture of both of them. You're gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh at a lot of stuff that goes on in there, and some stuff that kind of make you think, like, man, But I did, and one thing we taught our kids was like, man, look how blessed you are looking at what these kids going through. You know what I'm saying? I had kids come in that couldn't read, write, nothing, and even hadn't been in school, all that kind of stuff. So we back on the floor. Indian style, just going over, this is white, this is blue, all this kind of stuff. Mama didn't have them in school or nothing, so it was like, there's a lot of stuff, man, that these kids be dealing with that we don't be knowing about. When they go to schools and stuff like that, I've had to go to the school several times. Kids acting up in class, you know what I'm saying? I had to go up there, straighten it out or whatever. And, but a lot of it just be frustration, man. They be in a bad spot, they moving, they don't have no consistency. And I think they be looking for attention and love, and they go act out.
Looking for whatever all the rest of the kids they see get.
Right.
So why I ain't getting that?
That's right. Yeah. Barbershop Stories podcast, episode 93, in here with acclaimed author, Mr. Corey McKinney. Come back to you, Corey.
Was your experiences just your reason for wanting to author this book? Because I know last book was about sports and growing up as a young man playing sports, and the inspiration that you got through playing them. So what was the inspiration for this? I mean, of course the title is Foster Dad, so you can kind of guess, but I want to hear from you.
It was a couple of things. One, that we are important as dads. You know what I mean? Like, we are important. Like, it's nothing like a mother's love. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers for this Sunday coming up.
We are important.
But, man, I'm telling you, man, having a dad in these kids' life, or a father in the home, or a father figure. Like, it don't have to be that father, but somebody, a coach, a mentor.
Somebody of respect.
Anybody. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that, they can get the dad's perspective. But for our young girls and young boys, you know what I'm saying? The young boys need our leadership. The young girls need to know how to be treated.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So we have a big role we play, man, in the kids. You know what I'm saying? A way bigger role than a lot of people give us credit for. So that was one of the reasons. Two was to try to change the mindset in the negative light on fostering. And just to kind of inspire people to kind of do more to help others, man. That was the whole thing of trying to write it, bring light to the situation and just make things better, man.
And a dolphin might be watching, so it's children, not kids now. Take out a mess with him, man. He watching, man. What's up, AJ?
A kid is a goat.
A kid is a goat. I know he had to button up because we keep saying kids. But we know it's children, AJ. We just talking English up here. Southern English up here today.
Children,
Everybody know what it is.
Dolphin from Gay City and Kingston. We can't take his word.
Ain't no doubt.
And from two communities, man.
We know he love the children too, though.
The children, I got you.
So,
yeah, man.
But that's what time it is, man. Hey, foster dad, man. That's deep, man. And I hope having you here, man, can inspire some people like what you said not to do, man, by writing the book, man. And lighten the load up on some people's mind about fostering. You know what I'm
'cause
saying?
It may be some people on the fence about thinking about doing or want to do, or like I was. I ain't doing that, man. I ain't fooling with no foster kid. I was the same way, same exact way. So if I can do something to make people kind of flip or whatever, you know, that's my whole thing of it, man. Just trying to make a difference. You know?
Okay. Well, Corey, we ain't gonna hold you up all night, but I do want to ask this question here.
Yeah.
Is the process easy to even sign up being a foster
Good
parent?
question.
Like, how is that process? Is it tedious on that end? I know you got your background checks and all that. Make sure your car ain't smoking and all that shit. But what's some of the criteria of being a foster? Well, foster
The main
parent?
thing were the classes, you know, taking the time to go through those courses in those classes. You know what I'm saying? You have like CPR classes, you have instructors that come in and actually give you all kind of stuff you got to do. So it ain't a lot, but you have to burn a little time to go take those courses and classes. So that was the main thing of it. You know, the courses, the classes, the CPR training, and the background check. You know, they're gonna check to make sure you legit, and they have to come check your house too. You know, but the biggest thing was the time you have to take to go do those courses and classes. So.
Is it a lengthy process? Does it take long to
not really.
get all that in line?
Not really. It wasn't a long process at all. You know, I think you have like hours you have to take. Like you get like courses or whatever. So once you get so many hours done, then you're certified and you can be a foster parent.
That might make that might inspire some people to do it just knowing that, because you know some people run from tedious paperwork. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And situations.
Yeah, so it wasn't too bad, because you know once I made my mind up that hey, okay, I'll go ahead and do it. You know, everything kind of flowed smooth.
Cool.
The main thing was just make my mind up that I wanted to do it. Yeah, because I was like, I ain't doing that. I ain't fooling around with that. I did it for about almost 2 years, man. I broke out and I finally decided to go ahead and do it, and I was glad I did, really. I'll be honest with you, I was glad I did. I think I touched a lot of those kids. They touched me too. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some stories in that, man, that, you know, bring tears to your eyes. Like, man, you know, I just felt like all the time that I waited was for a reason, because I wouldn't have got the kids I got it during the certain times if I had did it any earlier.
Yeah.
You know,
God always on time.
Any earlier.
God always
had
on
a kid
time,
come
bro.
in one time, and it was the first time we had a little kid, like 10-month-old. Like both feet was burned on the bottom. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, and they said, I got the story now too, man.
All right, now, Corey, man. What you trying to make a nigga cry,
I'm trying
man?
to see something come
You
out.
trying to make a
put
nigga
something
cry?
out of your cheek.
Barbershop Story, the podcast, episode 93. Corey finna make a nigga cry. Thank you, Corey.
Hey, sound like fostering chose the right person, man, the right family.
We
You know.
just whined and whined
People.
all night, man. We just held them and passed them and held them and passed them. We just couldn't get comfortable, man. And I don't know, it was like God worked a miracle out. The next day, they took him to the doctor. They gave him shots and stuff for his feet, man. He was crawling around the house, man, having a good time. So when stuff like that happened to you, you just feel like, you know what, this was the right thing to do.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm saying? And then luckily his grandma came and got him like after a couple of days, so she took him back in. So he didn't even stay that long. But you know, just to have the opportunity to kind of, and we held him all night. I mean, I had to be to work 5 in the morning. We was up at 2, 3, just taking turns, holding him, sleeping, passing him. He finally went to sleep. You know what I'm saying? And my long go off of work, man, I was sitting there leaning over, like, you know, I went on, got up and went though. But you know, it's just small stories like that, man. Kind of make you like, what if somebody else would have got that kid if I wouldn't have been doing it? We wouldn't have been doing it. You know what I'm saying? So,
That's a good outlook of looking at it, though.
yeah. So
Well,
Brother Corey McKinney, man, Barbershop Stories, episode 93.
that's right.
Foster dad, man.
That's right. And Corey, if you got any information where people can get the book or get in touch with you for some mentoring, because I remember you mentioned mentoring as well. So if you can give them that information, man, I'm sure our viewers will be grateful.
yeah. Anything about speaking, you can email me at goingfor2@gmail.com, which is GOINGFORTOO@gmail.com. All my speaking assignments or whatever come through my email. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Lee Corey McKinney on Facebook. And my books are on Amazon, but there won't be a signed copy, but you can get both of my books signed and sent directly to you from my website, which is CoreyMcKinney.net. CoreyMcKinney.net. Those come directly to me. I sign them, personally sign them for you, ship them to you. You'll have both copies of the books.
Cool.
Okay.
Man. Support this brother
That's right.
and his efforts.
Yeah,
that's
we've been
what's
doing well, man. This book went all across the country already. I've been to probably 20, 25 states already.
Cool.
So
And it's go for two. I've been saying Coach Daryl's coach, but that's the subtitle.
That's the
Yeah.
But yeah, go for
Daryl's
two.
Coach,
Is,
Go
yeah.
for two.
Go
I'm
for
still
two.
trying to get that movie done.
I'll check out that
one.
go for two.
Yeah, that's a good one too, man. If we're gonna get it on film one day, so.
So with the
We're
Chris
pushing-
Wood
Go
coach.
to man right now. I see the producer sitting in the
I
building.
see
the
one.
producer's in the
I see one.
building.
Hey, we gonna get that thing on film, man.
He in here now.
We're gonna get it on film, so that's my goal on that one, man. So both of them inspirational. CoreyMcKinney.net. Get your books, man. I'll be glad to send them to you.
So you said you was out there with Chris Wood coach. I'm gonna tell you this interesting story before we go. Man, I used to always want to play for the Chris Wood coach. We'll go down there. We stayed over there in them apartments right over on 55th Street.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I told him, man, we'll go over there and play.
Chris
I
was
was
big
a
time,
receiver, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying, by wanting to be. And I remember, man, it was $75 to play football. Then you got your shoulder pad.
Yeah.
The whole nine. That's when
Yeah.
Chris Wood had them good French fries at the regular concession stand.
That
And
season
man,
salt on 'em.
oh yeah, with the season
sir.
salt
Yeah.
that I couldn't afford. Man, I remember we had been practicing all summer. It was time to pay the money.
Yeah.
So I asked my pop. I said, man, I want to play football. So he said, all right. So maybe about a couple of days before I had to pay the money, he gave me $85, and he said you can either buy your school clothes or play football.
Yeah.
Big Penny, tell me, Donnie.
Well, it was over with for that football.
Life lesson.
It was over with football, but I
Yeah.
will say this though, and I am not bragging, but if I would have played with Chris Wood, they'd have been undefeated for at least 3-4 seasons.
3-4 seasons. I
Yeah,
believe, Doc.
when
I
Center
believe.
Point, you kick y'all ass from time to time.
So you've
No,
been
no,
all,
yeah,
you've
I'd
been
have
all the
It
different.
would have been a different. That would have changed the life from
We ran
21-10 to
the whole youth
24-21.
football when I played for Chris. But you can ask anybody doing that.
Oh yeah, they for the
Yeah.
most part.
We beat AG, Inslee, East Lake,
They were
Center
tough.
Point, all of them.
Everybody in
They
the
were
way.
tough.
Out of state winning championships. One loss in 6 years.
Yeah, Chris Wood was
One loss
tough.
in
I
6
know.
years. So go get that book. You can read all about it. I
Yeah,
tell
right.
you
Coach.
all the stories on that one, Doc.
We got a coach over here in the building with us tonight too, man. Old Coach PJ in the house tonight, man. Checking out the pod, man.
Yeah, what's
Y'all
up,
gonna
Doc?
sign up with them Chris Wood coach, baby. Going out there with my
Right.
nephew and run that ball, man.
That's right.
Play some
That's right.
defense.
But I appreciate y'all doing what y'all do too,
Appreciate
man.
you,
You know what I'm
man.
saying? Especially keep rocking this since the first time I was in, man. I be checking y'all out and supporting you, telling
appreciate
people
it.
about it, man. So keep doing what we need, enlightening. We need to put positive things, especially out there in the city, man,
Oh, yeah,
this state,
that's right.
and keep pushing it, man. So
That's right. That's
I'm
right.
behind y'all.
It ain't all negative out here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, you know, of course, the negative shine a little harder than
That's
than
right.
the
Always.
good, but the
Always.
good lasts the longest.
Right,
So
right.
that's what's up, and I'm glad we got the opportunity to be able to do that.
Oh yeah.
So, hey, we appreciate y'all tuning in to Barbershop Stories the podcast. We'll see you all not this week, cut the comedy show this week. May 11th is the comedy show live at the Start On. We'd love to see you there. Doors open at 6:15. Show starts promptly at 7:30. I bring only the hottest independent comics all across the country. So y'all make sure y'all check that out. Then also visit my website and you can see all the show dates. I can't remember them tonight because I just can't remember them. But the website is comedyandbham.com or BennyMac205.com. So hey, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Shout out to K1 on the ones and twos, and I'm talking about the camera and the laptop. Shout out to Sam. Shout out to Daryl. I'm talking about Daryl. Corey. I'm trying to call you Daryl. I'm telling you.
Coach Darryl.
Yeah, Coach
Yeah,
Darryl. I'm
you
trying
think about
to call
Coach Darryl
you
Coach
Darryl.
again.
Corey McKinney. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. So, hey, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure you like, watch, and share this. And always remember, some good in the hood. We ain't talking about reefer. That's what it is. We'll see you episode 94 on May 18th. That's what it is. And bye. See you.
LQ.
Yes, sir. Another one down, baby.
Man, hey, we
Another
enjoyed
one
it, my
down.
brother.
Yeah,
Hey.
man. Yeah, you know what time it is.
Anytime you put one together, man, shoot
Yeah.
through. Every time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Most definitely. Most definitely.
You can go.